مشاهدينا أهلا وسهلا بكم من قناة MEA. نقدم لكم حلقة جديدة من Spotlight. Victoria Valentine is running for judge for Oakland Circuit Court. This court handles the toughest cases in the county. Today we're going to be discussing with Victoria Valentine her career and her journey and her campaign. Welcome to MEA.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me here.
How are you today?
I'm great, Hannah. How are you?
Good, good. You have 17 years of experience in the law. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. For 5 years in the beginning of my career, I worked for a judge in Wayne County. We handled both a family docket and a civil docket. I also did an internship in the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office in the Domestic Violence Unit. From there, I went into private practice where I practiced civil litigation, doing all types of litigation, including and most heavily in the business court. We do business civil litigation where we have contract disputes or non-disclosure agreements, fights over real estate and things of that nature. So I have been practicing for 17 years, and I'm in all different courts, including the federal courts.
Yes.
The United States Federal Court of Appeals. I just argued a big case where we sued China. And that was a very, very interesting case that went on for 5 years and has just recently resolved.
Good, that's great. Let's go back to the early days, Victoria. Can you tell us about your upbringing? Were you raised in Michigan?
Yes, I'm from Michigan, always. Actually, I've always lived in Oakland County.
Okay.
I grew up in West Bloomfield. I lived there for 44 years, and I just recently moved about a quarter of a mile to what's now Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
So I went to school at Refuge, Our Lady of Refuge, and then from there I went to school at Mercy High School. So my roots have always been in this area, and I'm so proud to be from here.
That's great. We're going to ask you now about running for judge. What made you run for a judge for Oakland Circuit Court?
To be honest, Hannah, I have been so integrated in the community, and I've always felt that my job was to give back to the community, to make sure that we build where other people need help, and to, in my career, make it the best that we can be for everybody, for the citizens who come into court, for the litigants who appear in court, for the judges. So I'm currently the president-elect, so I would be president next year of the largest voluntary bar organization in Michigan. And my position, I've been on the board for about 10 years, and I'm elected and re-elected by the body of the Oakland County Bar Association, which is made up of more than 3,000 lawyers in the area. So it's really an honor to serve as the president-elect of this organization. Yeah. Doing this and being in part of the foundation, which is a charity that collects money, charitable purposes, and gives it back to the community to make sure that there's access to justice as well. Yeah. So to continue on my journey of helping people, being a judge is really the next thing that I can do. It gives you a strong voice in the community. It allows you to help on a day-to-day basis on cases and making sure people get relief and get in and out of the court system.
Yes.
So that is why I'm running for judge.
That's good. And you're the only candidate who is endorsed by both major parties. Can you tell us about this?
Absolutely, thank you. I am endorsed by the Oakland County Democratic Party and the Oakland County Republican Party, which is such an honor to me because judges represent the community, and we have to be fair and just, and we have to make sure that everybody's voice is heard as holding a position of judge.
Does it happen often?
I don't believe that it happens very often. I am honored to be the only candidate in this election who has been given the honor of being endorsed by both parties, as well as our elected officials who are from both parties. So Andy Meisner is our Democratic treasurer of the county. He has endorsed me, as well as Al Brooks Patterson, who is our Republican executive director. So it's just really an honor. I have Sheriff Bouchard, who's endorsed me as well, and Jim Nash, our water resource commissioner.
That's a lot of interesting people.
I've been very honored. The Michigan Association for Justice, which is made up of lawyers, has also endorsed me and has really helped me get through this election and pushed me and supported me. And because of my years of experience in the community, I have a lot of support from the lawyers, which I'm very thankful for.
Sure.
In my job and what we do, when you are pushed and you are honored by being endorsed by people of your peers, it is quite an honor. And I really hope that if I'm elected, I promise to do good things for the community.
That's great, and we hope so. I have to ask you this. It's a quiet an adjustment for you, like shifting from defending or prosecuting clients to become a referee. How do you feel about this?
So any time that you have a case, your job for your client is always to get the resolution. And so to see things from the side of one side or the other, and instead now coming and seeing it neutrally, is not going to be much of a change, because when you litigate, you have to always see it from both sides to know what the best position is, to advocate, and to be reasonable about what you can expect for a resolution. That's the best way to make sure that you're always representing your client well. So in addition, I also serve for the courts as a case evaluator, which sits neutrally as a panel to decide cases, put a number on a case for settlement purpose for the courts.
Yes.
I'm also an umpire for the courts, which I'm appointed by judges or attorneys in order to serve as a sole determiner of insurance matters if the two appraisers cannot come to an agreement. So I serve in these roles where I have this very important role of mediation and arbitration and determining things for parties now. And I'm selected based upon my fair and neutral ability.
Sure. So, I mean, you have a lot of qualifications. I can understand that. What makes you or distinguish you from the other candidates?
I think that what is the most important about what I've done in my life is that I practice law. And so not only have I worked for a judge for 5 years and been behind the bench to see administratively how things run, how you write your opinions, reporting to the Supreme Court, but also being on the other side of the bench where I practice. I know what judges expect. I know what you want for your clients. Your clients want you to make sure your case goes forward. You want your right to a jury trial. So being on both sides and really being in court every single day, really pushing forward for your causes and making sure that you're integrated into the system and appearing in all different levels of courts is really important. So really that's what I bring to the table, as well as the amount of charitable service I've done for the community as a volunteer for the last 17 years. Everything that I have done has been to better our profession, has been to help the community make sure that they can be heard, that their cases are understood, that their policies and procedures that go before the court are fair and just, and we're listening to everybody. So I have done that my whole career, and I think that that's what makes me a really good candidate for this.
Good. What would you like to see changed in the courtroom if elected?
I would like to see the ability to have more, a more speedy resolution for some matters. It's really, when you get into litigation, there is a financial impact and there is a time impact, and it also takes resources away from something else that you would do. And people really just want to be heard, and they want it done fairly, and they want it done as expeditiously as possible.
So basically the speed of things.
And keeping the judge having their finger on the pulse, always being accessible by the lawyers and the parties, so that you can, if you have an issue that can be resolved quickly, to make sure that the judge can be here for that. We have fabulous judges in Oakland County. We are
How
blessed.
can that be done? How can that be done?
By being accessible.
Speed. Yeah.
So that let's say that there was a motion or something that the parties wanted, they have an agreement on something. Instead of having to file a motion, have a response, and come to a motion day, which can be very costly and time consuming to get to that point, it might be something where both parties agree, they can enter into a stipulation or contact the courtroom and say, both parties are on the phone, we would like an extension, or we would like an answer to this question, so that we can move our case much faster. And making just sure that you're always checking in with people, having status conferences where you come and you're in front of the judge. If you have ever litigated a case, the most important moments that people see is when the judge can be accessible there and be involved.
So will you be able to work on that?
Absolutely. That will be my goal, is to make sure that I'm always completely accessible.
Yes.
So, and like I said, we have fabulous judges in Oakland County now, and I would just like to carry on the tradition of having good judges there.
That's good. Can you tell us about one of your significant cases that you've worked on and it really affected you? in your career?
Yes. I mean, I've had a lot, so it's hard to choose. One of the cases I had was a religious discrimination case that I worked on pro bono, and that was just very rewarding to help somebody who really wanted to have their voice heard and to be in court and to have their rights heard. And doing that without any payment is really rewarding to be able to help someone on that level. And I have been fortunate enough that I can contribute to society by giving back my time and my expertise in that way. I also just did a case we sued China on issues that they didn't want to pay people to do the work that they did here. And that was a case that was litigated through the court systems and resolved in a resolution through an alternative mediation source.
But that must have been very hard.
It was a very difficult case. It was a very important case, and it was in the federal court system, so it was very interesting. I argued up at the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals as well, so it was really great to be able to use your practice to do these things for betterment for everybody. And I really appreciated that case and how much fun it was. My prosecutor office experience was also really exciting. I worked in the domestic violence unit, and there's just so much good that can come out of helping someone out of a cycle and being able to participate in making sure that people know that there's other resources to help them.
Sure.
So a lot of things that I have done in my career have been very impactful for me. I was recently just published in the Michigan State International Bar Journal as well.
That's nice.
So
very nice.
So I know you only wanted one, but
that's good. The more the better.
Right.
You know, Michigan holds one of the largest Arab and Chaldean community. I want to know how involved are you in this community, and do you have like clients that are Arabs and Chaldeans?
I do. I actually, because I've been in this community so long, and because I've gone to the schools with the Chaldeans and the Arabs, I have really just some of the closest friendships I have are with people from your community.
Yeah.
From first grade on, like I said, I went to Our Lady of Refuge, and then I went to Mercy. And as you know, we have the largest concentration of Chaldean and Arab Americans in Oakland County. And they're some of my best friends in the world.
So basically you're very familiar with the culture.
I'm very familiar with the culture. As I grew up, my culture is very similar. I grew up, I'm half Italian and half Polish.
Oh, you are.
And so, so we have very, very similar.
Very similar cultures.
Yes,
absolutely.
cultures and beliefs and how important our family is. And
so I'm sure you attend a lot of events like Chaldean or Arab events.
I do.
You do? At
the Chamber, we do. I've been to a lot of events. I've also been endorsed by the AFPD and received PAC support as well. So that was very important to me.
I'm sure.
At the Chamber, I just recently even went to the Young Chaldeans Network and listened to one of my best friends speak to them about how to be advancing yourself in the community and what she has done from when she was little to now to get to where she is.
Okay.
And a lot of the young Chaldeans have come to me and actually helped me on my campaign and just wanting to volunteer and be so supportive and helpful.
That's very nice.
And I really appreciate it.
So what would you like to say to the Arabs and Chaldeans in order for them to vote for you today?
Well, I would very much appreciate your vote, and a lot of you know me because of the fact that I've been in the community and that I've always done things in the community, and I attend the Chaldean events and do things with the Chamber as well. So just really thank you for your support. Thank you for always having the kindness to help me and want me to go further. And without the support of the Chaldeans in this election and the Arabs in this election, I would not be where I am today. It really has been, we're a great team together in Oakland County, working together, and it has been such a pleasure and an honor to have their support, so thank you.
Good. Well, this country is built on ethnic minority and diversity, and we live in a country where some Americans can be biased to Middle Easterns. What's your stand on this topic?
My stand on the topic is that with all humanity, we need to be kind to each other. We need to acknowledge each other's difference and embrace them, learn from other people's cultures, love other people's cultures. It's so amazing to see and to have my children see the different types of celebrations that are out there and the different types of foods and traditions. And to me, it's so important, and don't ever give that up. Always stay with your traditions of your family, because we learn from them and we love them. And in my family, as being an Italian, we have certain traditions, and being Polish, we have certain traditions, and kids love to talk about it. And it's really supported in my kids' school, where we learn about other cultures and we bring in food so they can experience it, and they have to tell stories and get letters from their grandparents or a family member that can talk about their culture. So be proud of who you are.
Good, great. So now, what would you like to say to the new generation of students who are seeking law school?
To the new generation that's seeking law school.
Yes.
Law school is so hard, and it will change how you think. And it is a fabulous tool, because you will look at things so much differently than you ever have before, because you're trained that you can't see things from only one point of view. If you can't respect both viewpoints, you can't advocate well for somebody, because you need to understand where someone else is coming from in order to say, this is my position, and please understand why this would be more correct under the law. So you will think differently, you will train yourself differently, and you will be so much more of an open-minded person by being a lawyer.
But as you know, there is a lot of competition nowadays, especially in law school. What would you say about that?
Work your hardest, give it your best. Study hard, think outside the box. My biggest thing that I teach my children is, and so important in the law, is think outside the box. Be creative on how you can come to a resolution. Be creative on how you can present your case. Be creative on how you see things, that you can present it to somebody. If you continue always having the same pattern and practice of how you present something, people get bored. Personalize it. These are real people. My cases have real people. There's real life transactions that happen, whether it's affecting your family, whether it's affecting you financially, whether it's affecting your liberty and your freedom. How are you going to relate yourself to somebody else? Because that's really what we do. We want to make sure if we're presenting to a jury, can you relate to the jury? The juries are our peers.
Sure.
How do you make your case so that they can understand it and can give you the relief that you're requesting? So there is a lot of competition. And try hard, think outside the box, listen to others, learn from others, and just build on yourself.
That's a good advice. Victoria Valentine, what's your final thoughts today? What would you like to address the people at the end of our conversation today?
Thank you. I would like to address the people to say, I am ready to be the next judge of the Oakland County Circuit Court, and with your help on election day, I can help serve the public more and to continue to build and make our county as great as it possibly can be. And if you vote for me on November 8th, I promise you I will be an excellent judge, I will be accessible, and you will have your right to present your cases in the court. And I hope to be your next circuit court judge. Please vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you go out there and vote, please consider Victoria Valentine's record, her accomplishment in the law, and her services to the community. And thank you very much. Thank you. Best of luck on your campaign. Thank you very much for being here. I would like to have you back for sure, okay?
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you very much. And you have a great day, okay?
You too.
أعزائي المشاهدين، كنتم مع سبوتلايت. شكرا لحسن المتابعة وإلى اللقاء.